Perfect. Well, Laura and I are here today to talk about our classroom foster program at San Diego Humane Society. Here's a quick shot of our contact information. I'm Jackie Noble. I'm our Director of Nursery and Placement, which oversees our nursery program, our foster program, and our rescue program. And then I'll let Laura introduce herself.
I'm Laura Leonard. I'm our Community Outreach Manager, and I oversee our school outreach programs, mobile adoptions, and some of our community support services events in the community.
So if you want to reach out to either of us, our contact information is available. Just a quick overview of our foster program. We do have a pretty low barrier program in terms of our fosters can sign up online. They can review our foster manual, which gives them all of our contact information, where to go, what to do if there's an emergency. And then the fosters can self-select into the type of fostering they would like to do. So that could be kittens, cats, puppies, dogs, and small pets. And then we have some more advanced tracks that we have now: our behavior foster, medical foster, adoption ambassador, and safety net fostering. So we're growing our foster program, and we have a lot of different options for our foster pool. When they sign up, it's just a quick go online to our website, search foster, they sign up and review everything through our volunteer impact database, and they can be active same day or with at least within like 48 hours. All we have to do is confirm that they're 18, because we do require our fosters to be over the age of 18. So in amongst all of the different types of fostering, we created in 2021 a program called Classroom Fosters. We did seek teachers from our current foster pool. Our current foster pool has about 3,000 people in there, and we found about 30 teachers within that pool. And we said, we have this exciting new option for you if you teach first grade or up, and we were wondering if you would like to foster some small pets in your classroom, and essentially the modern day class pet along with some humane education. So the program was created in 2021, and Laura is going to share some great information about how the program has grown and some of the really cool outcomes that have come from the Classroom Foster program. We do have an agreement, but before we dive into that, I'll let Laura share our little classroom setup that we have pictured here.
Yeah, so this is a guinea pig setup. It's actually a smaller cage than we normally use, but we worked with this teacher to have a setup in her classroom, and also a lot of out of the cage time for this guinea pig that was just doing a 2-week stay in the class. And we provide things like the laminated signage on the cage so that students and faculty know, don't just reach in and pet, that the foster parent, essentially the teacher, is the one responsible for the care of the animal, but that they can be part of that if they work together with that point person. And that's a little, further detailed in our agreement of what's expected of the foster teacher. Just like with any foster, they're essentially responsible for the care and safety of the animal. And being in a classroom is no different. So we want to make sure that it's a safe place. So this cage is up off the ground. This is a young class. This is a first grade classroom. So we did have to be careful about little fingers going in and everything like that. Things are different in older classrooms. We have rabbits that are in X-pens that free roam the classroom. So it really depends on the class.
So this is a copy of our, I'll go back a slide, our actual agreement that our teachers sign. So we do have our standard foster agreement, and this is kind of a supplemental agreement. It covers our bases. I know everyone's probably thinking this could be a disaster zone if we gave an entire class ringworm or, that kind of thing. So this is our agreement to make sure that the teacher is aware there are potential risks of having an animal in their classroom. They cover those possible risks with their school leadership, as long as the parents in the classroom are made aware that there will be an animal in their classroom. We want to make sure that we're doing our best to send social small pets to these classrooms, although these are great options to provide socialization as well. We want to make sure that they know that they are the caregiver for the animal, and they're not sending the animal home with kids every weekend, which I know happened kind of back in the day with the traditional class pet. You take it home on your weekends. We want to make sure that the teacher knew that they are the responsible foster parent, and they should be the ones caring for the animal and ensuring that the animal is getting the appropriate care, kind of not handing it off to different kids every weekend. So the teacher is the person that is the foster. And then we do cover our bases in terms of, like I mentioned, sharing with them zoonotic disease is a possibility. And we encourage hand washing before and after interacting with the animals, and make sure that they know how to do safe social interactions with them as well. We do not require the animals going into the classrooms to have any sort of testing in terms of like a DTM for ringworm or anything like that. We do give them a once over vet exam, and obviously if they were showing obvious signs of illness, we would not send them. But this is kind of our catch-all to make sure the teachers and the schools are aware of the possible risks, but what we are doing to kind of help mitigate those through educating them, and so they can educate their kids. And we're very happy to share this agreement if anyone's interested in starting this program. We have been doing pretty well so far in terms of these parameters. So, so far so good with what we've established with this agreement. So handing over again to Laura, since she's the one on the ground to share a lot about the perks of the program. I will share that right now in Southern California, we're having a small pet boom. So these creative options for housing small pets have been incredibly beneficial, as we've been trying to do a huge push for small animals to go out for foster. So having this option has been really wonderful to support that.
Yes. And there's definitely a desire for kids to learn about these animals and be part of their lives. So it's the perfect pairing of getting them into the classroom. So we really wanted to make this as easy as possible for teachers. We know that they're very, very busy, especially right now, and when we started the program during COVID. So we want to make it barrier-free for them. So we provide all the supplies, and either myself or one of our educators actually drives those supplies out to the schools. Drives the animals out to the schools, and we do a hands-on training with the teacher, especially if they've never interacted with this type of animal before, or never had experience picking them up or learning about them. So we go over everything with them in person when we bring the animal out to them after they've gone through the basic onboarding process online. And I will say, although we did have a pool of teachers in our initial foster pool, most of the people that have ended up fostering for us are new to fostering. This is their very first time ever fostering, and they've chosen to do it not just because they love the animals, but they want to provide this great opportunity for their students. And with limited outreach opportunities for us, especially during COVID, we were limited on how much we could go and visit classrooms. This gave them the opportunity to share humane education with their students on a daily basis. And so we do the setup for them. We provide everything that they need, and that also includes a second set of housing that they can have at home for the weekends. We arrange for them to or they make plans to either come in on their weekends to take care of the animal, or transport the animal to their own home on the weekends. So depending what their setup is and what works best for them, we can supply them with 2 sets of cages, 2 sets of everything, so that they can do that more seamlessly on weekends. Or spring break is going on here in San Diego, or has been, and some of the teachers have just kept the animals at home during that time. Another perk for this is we can process the adoption right from the school, so they're not required to bring the animal back. If they find a home to adopt them, we can have that adoption happen at the school. If it is, a family member that has a student attend the school, that we can make that happen for them right on site at the school. And something else great about this program, especially from our community outreach standpoint, is that most of the schools that we have been partnering with are in our focus communities. So these are in zip codes that we've identified to have higher intake numbers, more calls from our humane law enforcement, and just general less resources for pet owners in those communities. So we're really getting folks to see adoption as an option and making it as easy as possible for them to see us as a resource and be able to adopt and ask questions and connect with us. Maybe not just for adopting a pet from the program, but also maybe looking at other resources that they might need for their pets at home and connecting with us in that way. So we're available to those schools and to those families through this program. We can go to the next slide. Well, thank you. So this is a little on promoting adoption. We've only had a couple adoptions actually through the program, but the ways that we promote adoption have been helpful, and getting the kids involved, especially if they can be involved in helping make an adoption poster or telling their friends and family about an animal. It really gives them that sense of empowerment, like they're part of this animal's journey, helping socialize the animal, helping them have a positive outcome, whether it's being adopted by a family that they know or just seeing that the animal gets adopted afterwards. We do also little certificates for them saying thank you for fostering this animal and being part of their special journey with us. And these templates, the one on the left is just a template that we've made on Canva, and this goes up at the front desk at the school. So even if they're just in one classroom and not every kid at that school is interacting with that animal, the families can see and learn about the animal and connect with us if they have questions or are interested in adopting. We use the Adoptme app on our profiles for animals. So this is a way a teacher can just upload photos in real time of all the interactions and fun that the animals are having at the school. And that helps to kind of place them in that family mode so people can see these are animals that might do well with kids. These are friendly animals. It's a sense of pride that the kids have too in being part of that process. You can see pretty pictures that they've made as well. And then this is one family taking home a guinea pig. And this mom was able to pick up the guinea pig and process the adoption right there at school when she picked up her 3 children from school. So she didn't have to come into our shelter, which is a bit away from where she lives. So making it an easy process. And then I was processing the adoption. So we go over everything, and the kids already know a lot about guinea pig care and the responsibility involved because they've been practicing that in their school. And we do also share, I can share in the chat, our small pet care sheets. So those are available from each of the fosters. They can share those right next to the animal setup, so that if a family asks about adoption, they can share the shopping checklist and lifespan information, all that information. So families are really prepared to adopt these pets, and we likely won't see them coming back because they're not aware of what it takes to take care of one of these small pets. They're going to really feel like they understand and are prepared to care for them. So I can share that link in the chat. And I think that was all. We did want to share a little bit about, the program is pretty small right now. And if we're looking at expanding it in the future, we would need to probably involve more volunteers on the transport end. That it's definitely what takes up the most time and resources, is actually physically getting everything out to the fosters, training them up front. For those that are fostering more long-term with us, it's pretty easy. If an animal gets adopted, we can just plug in a new animal. But for folks that are wanting to do this as more of a short-term foster, there's quite a bit that goes into getting them started and then getting the animal back. So we're looking at the possibility of having fosters that could help us with that. And then we do hope to use this model in other places. We've been approached by a local detention center that would like to do something similar, so we can use our same agreement and some of the same materials that we've shared for this to do something with them as well.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Y'all, I'm in love with everything about this program. You have thought of everything, things I wouldn't even have thought of. So it is incredible. I would love any of the agreement, anything that you have to share. Do you all have questions?
I actually do. So if they have, once they adopt the animal and they take them home and they have questions, like, maybe they didn't know, will somebody be on call to answer those questions to make sure that, they don't get so discouraged and bring the animal back? So, is there some support? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, so for the couple adoptions that we have done through the program, the community engagement department has handled it, and I have shared my contact information with the families, as well as all those resources and links for them to be able to follow up. We're lucky that we have a couple small animal rescue organizations here in San Diego, which we also refer them to, because they're a great place to get supplies, go for nail trims, things like that. And so far we haven't had anyone follow up on that specifically, but we do share that information and let people know, if it's not working out, they can always contact us. And that's the case with all adoptions. We do let folks know that if they have questions, we're here to help to work through that and offer advice.
Yeah, no, this is so awesome. It's great.
I popped our agreement in the chat. And if anyone has any other questions, right now our focus is just on the small animals, but it's very possible this could expand to potentially kittens with some of our kitten fosters that are teachers.
Right.
Sorry, it's windy. My chimes are going.
No worries.
But yeah, it's very likely that if we were going to expand, we'd go kittens next, and felines. I think dogs in the classroom could be a little more complicated, but small pets right now has been really, really helpful for us because we are seeing so many.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my question, is whether you had considered doing kittens, at least, socialized kittens. And my other question was, have you had any schools that did give you pushback and were like, no, we don't want animals in the classroom?
We have had one that approached us and got, we sent them all the onboarding materials, and then they did get back to us saying, we're no longer able to do it. But they also mentioned they had like a wild mouse issue happening, and that they were mostly concerned about the animal interacting with that animal. So luckily, a lot of schools in San Diego, we're working with San Diego Unified mostly. So since we've had approval, once we had approval in at least one classroom, they're able to say it's been in that district so far. There are some districts in San Diego that are a little more strict, even with our outreach programs. We're not allowed to have children pet animals in some of the districts in San Diego. When we come out for outreach, we use stuffed animals like these. So I'm sure we'll see some of that, or maybe we just don't hear from those teachers. Most of the teachers that we've approached about it are teachers that we're already doing our school outreach with. So we're going into the classroom with animals, and they're already pretty animal friendly in that sense. But I'm sure there are some that wouldn't allow it because of the perceived, worry about animals causing allergies or damage or something like that. But we're careful to, go through those guidelines with them. If administrators have any questions, we can talk to them about what this will entail and how it's generally going to be a good thing for everybody.